What's up guys, it's Archie from Little Rice Muncher Gaming. Today is going to be another exciting day. As always, when I make a new video, today we have a new mouse from Logitech. Anyways, before we can talk about the new mouse, we got to talk about the predecessor. So this is the G502 Proteus Spectrum. It's a really popular mouse in all the gaming industry. It's the best selling mouse in the PC gaming realm, and for good reason. So this mouse has 11 programmable buttons, it has customizable RGB lighting, and it has customizable weights, up to 5 different weights. One of the biggest changes between the two is the sensor. Okay, so this has the PMW3366 sensor, and the G502 Hero has a different sensor. And Hero is actually an acronym, and it stands for High Efficiency Rated Optical Sensor. Right off the bat, I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. There's not too much of a difference between the two as far as your average typical PC gamer use, but some of the differences, as you can see here, is that this one is rated at 200 to 12,000 DPI. This one 100 to 16,000 DPI. Another distinguishing factor between the two is that this mouse is rated at greater than 300 IPS, whereas the G502 Hero is rated at 400 IPS. So what IPS is the maximum speed that a sensor can accurately track movement. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this. While I unbox it, we'll go over some of the differences between the two, and hopefully if some of you guys have already bought this mouse, you can make a decision on whether this is a worthy upgrade. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front. You have the G502 in foil lettering. This cover art, I really like it. It is identical to the G903. For the purpose of comparison, this is the previous one. Here's the side, and then here is the back. So as you see here, it talks about next generation Hero sensor, 16,000 DPI, and then 11 programmable buttons, as we said before, and you can customize 5 different 3.6 gram weights for your personalized preference. And then also Logitech has been pushing their G Light Sync technology, provides fully customizable RGB lighting. You have the logo and then you have some lights here, but it is one zone. So it is not the flashiest of all mice. So what's in the box? You got the mouse, the weights, and the case for the weights, and then you have user documentation. I unboxed this previously and it was pretty bare bones and straight to the point. So we'll see if this is any different, but nothing on top as you see there. So let's go ahead and open her up. So we have one sticker right here at the top, and we'll use this knife safely and scuff up my table also. Okay, so first time opening it up. Here it is. Nothing else in the box aside from some cardboard, which I love that. The more padding the better. Here we go. So presentation is a lot different than the other mouse. I actually kind of hated it. I don't know how in-depth you guys are with unboxing experiences, but the other mouse, the braided cable was kind of threaded into the plastic piece, but this is straightforward. It sits in here like so it doesn't move. So there's some ridges right there. Let's go ahead and look at the other things first. Here is the weights. You have the G logo, Logitech G for their gaming line. I've always been a fan of Logitech. I've used their mice, I've used their keyboard, gaming, and for just regular day-to-day use. But as you see here, all these are labeled 3.6 grams, and you have a grand total of 5 of them. So pretty neat case, feels pretty durable, it's really slim. So there's that. Let's go ahead and look at the only insert. So like I said, this is bare bones, just like the Proteus Spectrum. So USB, it is a wired mouse. As you see here on the bottom, you can remove the bottom and add the weights, and you plug it in like so. So very bare bones and easy. And then one final insert. This is important safety, compliance, and warranty information. There she is. And the back side, different languages. All right, nothing on the back, just a really thin piece of plastic. So here is the mouse, the G502 Hero. It's very, very extremely grippy right here. So not only am I gonna unbox this mouse, as I said previously, I'm gonna compare it to the previous generation. G502 Hero, G502 Proteus Spectrum. So the rubber, so very, very grippy. I like both. They're very grippy. On the bottom, Logitech G502. You just got some blue colors, so it goes from white to blue. Ooh. We still have the gloss finish up top. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before that I think is pretty significant and worth noting is that this new mouse, the G502 Hero, is rated for 50 million clicks, whereas this one was rated at 20 million clicks. Still an amazing number, but definitely worth noting. So off the bat, you can't really recognize anything different. The button placement looks the same all the way down to the rubber. The logo is a little bit different. This is a more circular edges on the logo. This is a more defined sharp edges. You have 11 programmable buttons. So this is a lock button for the mouse button. You can free roll or you can push this button in and it will click. So this is for more tactile feedback. And I believe this button controls some of the DPI settings, so you can change stuff on the fly, if I'm not mistaken. So you have several buttons here. You got a couple buttons by the left mouse. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the bottom really quick. So the way that you remove the bottom piece so that you can attach different weights is right here. It's a little flap here that sticks out and you can identify it with that glossy piece. So you just peel that off a little bit and it's held together by a magnet. So the magnet is right here and then it fits into that. So there are some tabs here at the bottom that you have to line up before you're able to put this back on. So it's a really satisfying feel and it feels really sturdy. So this feels like a really sturdy mouse. I mean, some of this does feel like cheap plastic when you look at some of the glossy finish and whatnot, but it does feel like a premium product in your hand for sure. So as far as the bottom goes, comparing this to the other mouse, the Proteus Spectrum, it looks pretty identical. No major changes there. So anyways, this is a wired mouse. So let's go ahead and look at the connections. They have improved this design. There are a lot of users on the internet that have complained about the durability of this cable. I can tell you off the bat, it is a little hard to visualize, but the cable is a lot more thinner than, so this is the Proteus Spectrum right here on the left, and this is the G502 Hero on the right. So you can see a difference in the cable. I don't know if you can see it there, but there is a little bit of fraying, and I just opened this mouse. The connection here, they both look fairly identical, but as far as the braid, this does look a lot more refined and durable and condensed. Whereas this one, it is durable, but as you see here, you can see some of the cloth fraying already, and this is a brand new mouse. So that's one of the updates, and let's go ahead and look at the end of the cable. The G502 Hero, it looks a little bit nicer. It doesn't look like a random USB peripheral. It has the G logo on it. This notch is handy whenever you pull out stuff, so you do lose that notch, but I really don't think that's a big deal or a deal breaker for anyone. The new cable, I would say, is a welcome addition to this mouse. So in conclusion, I would say that this is a great mouse. It improved on a lot of the great things about this fan favorite. It improved the cable, the durability of the clicks. The sensor is improved to their latest specs with their Hero sensor. But in all honesty, will most PC gamers be able to tell a difference? And the answer to that is a big fat no, God! Now, if you already have the G502 Proteus Spectrum, I don't think it's a really big deal that you upgrade, especially considering that most PC gamers are not gonna ever utilize the full potential of this mouse. So if this was a 10 out of 10, this is 11 out of 10. This just takes it to another level, probably unnecessarily so. But alright guys, so that pretty much sums up the video. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to leave a comment. I will be looking to answer anything and everything. And don't forget to support our channel by giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing. So I'm looking to make a lot of new content, a lot of great gaming footage, but I'm gonna need your support to do that. So thank you to all the new subscribers. I am so grateful. The channel has been moving a lot lately, and I'm just excited for the future. So welcome to the Little Rice Muncher Nation. With that being said, I gotta go eat some rice. I'll see you guys on the next video.